Hello, all you beautiful people out there. I'm here once again with another little island tour. This island is my most popular island to date, actually, Watchtower Villa. You may or may not have seen this, I'm not really sure. I'm just going to go through somewhat quickly and show you around, show you what I did, that kind of thing. As you can see, we got a big old trellis up here. Wasn't really meant to be blown up this much, so some of the flowers on top are actually floating. I can show you that. I mean, I can always come back and fix them if that annoys people enough, but so far I haven't gotten any complaints. Mostly because I don't think anyone would actually comes up here, which is good. As you can see, that flower right there is floating. It's fine. Now, I've heard some devs don't like huge trees. I'm not really sure for the reason. If you know, please actually let me know. If the reason's good, I'll stop using them. But the reason I actually went with large trees instead of the regular size ones is because I was running out of complexity, so I need something to fill the space on the sides of the island. And I went with the regular sized red trees just because they didn't really need to take up that much space, and I just need a splash of color to tie in with the red flowers on the trellis. So I added these over here. There actually is two different kinds of grass painted on this island, because just to break up the texture. Kind of needed that. As you can see, this is kind of layered, just because I didn't really have the entire island at the same height, and I didn't go back and change it, so I just went with this. I don't know why the island was slanting down. I had it at the same height. It just didn't want to flatten in the same height, I guess. If we go on in here, it's what I like to call the servants' quarters. There's a head on a pedestal. Don't mind that. I'm not sure why that's there. I'm a little scared to ask myself why it's there, but yeah, it's there. As you can see, we got a bench with a chair. These are made with thin walls and monument pillars, both of them. Just shrunk down to different sizes. Got a flower on the wall, as you can see. I still can't decide what kind of flower this is. Maybe you can help me. I'm just going to continue calling it a flower. Little chandelier up there. It's not too huge, but it provides a nice amount of light for both upstairs and down here. As you can see, it gets really dark in there if I take off the torch. There's also a flower up here behind the house, or to the side of it, depending on how you look at it. Stairs you can actually climb up. That's always a plus. I meant to do something with this roof, but I kind of ran out of complexity, and honestly, it doesn't really need much. It's fine. It looks good. Some very uncomfortable beds. I really hope they add furniture to the island creator at some point, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to lay down on these. They do not look comfortable. We got a loot chest. There's also another bed up here, as you can see. By the way, I used the wall frames for supporting the roof, as you can sort of see. I like things to be supported, so I added those for that. These aren't really supposed to be supporting the roof, but I kind of need to emphasize the depth that's right there, so I put those there to help. These are some of the custom door frames that I use every now and then. It's just broken god wings, I believe. Just kind of mashed together. Creates a nice little pattern. Big old braziers in here. I've used these in a few of my builds. I kind of like them. They add a nice little glow to the room. Make it so it's not so dark. We got some statues here. Every villa needs some statues, so that's why those are there. I'm not really sure what the deal is with these. I think at one point I need something for the floor, or I thought I did, and I added them. They are now here to stay. I mean, if people complain about them, I can always remove them. So far, I haven't gotten any complaints, so I'm just going to keep them there. Some bookcases. Ignore the flickering. That's fine. Columns, as you can see, those have once again made a return to one of my builds. I like columns. I use them in a lot of my builds. This entire building, by the way, is a preset asset that I made a custom group of. just makes it easier on myself to do that. Nice little gate here. It's the aqueduct and the thin walls, and behind it is the monument pillars as backboards, as you can see. A little shrine. I also use this in a lot of my builds. This asset is actually called King's Grave, since I made it for another island, and that's what it ended up being called. If you're wondering why that coffin is broken open, you can read the story. I'm sure you can surmise what happened. Or maybe you can't. I really don't know. If we go up here, I'll continue over to another little part of this island. You can see, I think these are my favorite windows. This is actually probably my favorite spot on this island. I like the view. It's kind of pretty. Got the sunset over there, or sunrise, whichever one it may be right now. I'm not really sure. Ain't that pretty. We're gonna move on up here. Another little flower in the window, as you can sort of tell. Those are just the door frames mashed together. I kind of like this flower. I've used it in quite a few of my builds. Again, not really sure what flower it is, but I kind of like it. Now, if I can grapple up here without killing myself, I will show you the towers. I think this is the first island I used these towers in. Those are just the door frames with monument pillars inside. I'm not really sure what to ever do with the interior of this build, so I kind of just leave it open. Kind of works. I think that's kind of what it's meant to be. Originally what those were for were, oh, okay, well, this is why I'm not a professional grappler, folks. We'll just fly around for now. It's probably safer. What I actually originally designed these for is to kind of make a big walled city, and these would be the entrances to that city. But that plan kind of got scrapped when I realized the buildings I have really eat up complexity, these included. I think these are something like 10% each, so they're not inexpensive. But I at least did get a wall and a villa in there. I'm now using these as watchtowers or guide towers, whatever the case may be, for a certain build. As you can see, it's actually supported right in here. Those up there are the aqueducts, and these are the aqueduct pillars, by the way. I think I have five aqueducts, just kind of mashed on top of each other, just to create a nice little hiding circle, or just a circle, depending. I really like this addition right here because it adds a nice little bit of depth. Moving on over here. The reason I went with that tower instead of these towers is because I kind of felt like it needed a bit of a change. You can't have all three of the towers be these two. So I added these. And there's a chest up here, by the way. And if we go back down in the villa, you can see a mural providing a hint for that chest up there. Pretty simple mural to decipher. At least I think so. Different kind of flower on this one. I think I had originally designed this building and the one down there to be like from rival clans. I was going to make like the Hatfields and McCoy type island. It never came through. Again, because I kind of ran out of complexity, and I really couldn't get the level of detail that I wanted. I wanted to add furniture to each of the buildings I put down, and I just couldn't do that. So they're just spread out now at random places. I think I went with angels in here instead of anything else because I kind of like the silhouette they made when this pillar wasn't here. I actually added this afterwards because, well, I kind of like things to be supported. It continues downstairs as well. Windows on all sides, by the way, except for this one. That's a door. And if we go down here, we can go to our last little part of the island. This is just a little under place that I didn't really make. It was just kind of here, and I just kind of added stuff to it. I actually did at one point plan on having a big old cave system down here. I'm not sure how well you can see this. I'll clear lighting. There we go. Still a little dark. Although that may just be the sun shining on my monitor. Yeah, I closed this off after I realized I wouldn't have the complexity to do anything down here. I don't really like open spaces without anything in them, so I try and not do that on my islands. I mean, some open space is fine, but that's a little too big for my taste. So yeah, I think that's basically it on this island. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I'll try and answer as quickly as I can. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.